Hello and welcome to Stitching Journal Club episode 6. I want to thank everyone for coming back. If you're a returning viewer and if you're new here, this is where I talk about cross stitch and any sciencey goodness I find during the week. This video is going to go up a day late just because it's been kind of crazy around here. I had a pipe break in my kitchen, and so I've been sitting around waiting for people to not show up to fix it, but the pipe is fixed, but I have 2 giant holes in the wall in my kitchen, so I'll be waiting around some more for them to not come and fix it. So that's why this video is going to be a day late, but I'm glad you've come to watch. I was shouted out by the Sunshine Stitchers, which, oh my gosh, they were the first Flosstubers I subscribed to way back when, and it's just great that they've seen my videos and they like them. You know, I tried to play it cool, but inside I was just like, oh my god. Oh man, I'm such a dork. Okay, so I really enjoyed the sampler segment I made in my last video. I really wanted to show just the different ways that people have been riffing on the concept of samplers, and since then I found even more that I liked. I bought a few more, and they just keep coming. So what I think I'm going to do, I liked making that little segment so much, I think what I'm going to do is every once in a while, not every video, but you know, every once in a while when I feel like I have enough to say, I'll group some of my patterns together by theme and talk about them and show them, because if we're being honest, I probably won't get to stitch all of them. I'm only in my 30s, but if I keep buying patterns like I do, you know, I probably won't get to stitch on them all. But I still want to gush over them and show my enthusiasm and maybe inspire others to stitch on them as well. So look out for those in the future. Okay, so for stitching this week, I worked on a few patterns. First up is Moths and Bugs by Punochka. Flies. I really like the color scheme on these little bugs, and it's a really fun stitch. So the model that is on the website is stitched on a brown fabric, but as you can see, I'm doing it on 32 count Silvery Moon. I have a lot of this fabric. I bought a whole yard of it a long time ago, and so I want to use it up. But I think that the colors are turning out really nicely on it. The pattern is charted with the outlines being in ecru, but I switched it to black to show up better on this fabric. But everything else is the same, and I think it looks phenomenal. So that is Moths and Bugs. I've had this for a while, and I don't pull it out as often as I should, but hopefully, steadily, I'll get it done. Next is Periodic Table. There it goes. This new camera, it loves to focus on my face, but I want it to focus on the stitching. So there it is. I got, where are they? I got lithium and beryllium done. And it is looking great. This is on a 36 count even weave. And it is a lot of squares. There's not much to say about it. It's going to look great when it's done, but stitching it, it's going to be a lot of squares. So I think I'm going to have to make it a goal to like get one of these done every week or so. That way I know that it'll take me a couple years to finish, but I will steadily work on it. I know a lot of people like fill-in stitching, but it turns out you know, it has its place, but I don't like it as much as I thought I would. But this periodic table is going to look great. I am not doing it in the colors that it's charted in. I just chose similar colors from what I had in stash that looks good together. but it's gonna be like the same. It'll be in the same color family and stuff. So that is periodic table. And finally, I worked on this one is called. It's a free pattern on the DMC website. It's called New Moon. It is one of the first patterns I started to stitch on. So this is, do we call those classics or oldies? Vintage? I just have to fill in the face and do some of the clouds around the edge. I want to get this done because I really like this pattern. It's one of my first ones and I want to finish it up. I don't want to have a ton of really old projects languishing, even though I know that that is going to definitely be my future. I would like to limit it as much as possible. So that's New Moon. How would you spice this up? Maybe I'll add some beads. Maybe I'll get creative with the finishing. I don't know. It's a pretty simple pattern, so I kind of want to make it look, I don't know, extra. So we'll see how that goes. All right, those are the only patterns I worked on. Not a whole lot of stitching time these past couple of weeks. I've noticed that I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself to stitch on a lot of different things. So I think what I'm going to do, I really don't like that. What I tend to do is stitch on one thing and just leave it in the hoop on the Lowry stand, and I'll go sit down, stitch a couple strands, get up, do stuff, sit back down, stitch more things. So I think I'm going to go back to that. And stitch on fewer things, but hopefully I'll get more progress. So I hope you all don't mind if sometimes I only have one or two things to show on my Flosstubes. So that being said, next I want to talk about my title, which is called On Giving Up. I'm going to talk about projects I've started but decided to just give up on because for whatever reason. So we'll start with, the first is Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow. I found this pattern early on and I fell in love with it. I became obsessed with it, but this is as far as I got in 2 years. Every time I sat down to stitch it, I just was not feeling it. And it's disappointing a little bit because like I dyed this fabric myself. I got real excited. I got a whole bunch of it. But 2 years and that's all I got. So I am going to put it away. There's a reason I like this pattern and I thought about what drew my eye. So what I think, oh no. Okay, random buttons. Technical difficulties there. So I thought about what was drawing my eye to this pattern, and I realized that what I kept looking at when I looked at the pattern was the panel with the train and the ghosts coming out of the smokestack. So I think I will just stitch that one and then pass along the chart because it's an expensive chart and someone should love it. So that might be a giveaway here at some point in the future whenever I get around to it. So that's Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow. Bye. Next is the Cryptid Stitch Along by Witchy Stitcher. I got that much done, and it's the same story. I just wasn't picking it up. Then I realized why. As much as I love creepy stuff, I'm not into cryptids enough to want to stitch a big whole piece about them. Not that I don't love Witchy Stitcher, I have several of her patterns, but just this one wasn't for me. So I just let it go. It feels good to let things go. Finally, this last pattern was one I got quite a ways into. This is Mars by Stitching Land. And I worked on this pretty steadily throughout 2020, 2021. But then I realized that this top half, I had gotten off somewhere in here, probably several somewheres in here. I'd gotten off so bad that this top half wouldn't match the bottom half of the planet. And you might be thinking, it's kind of a, you know, you could probably fudge it. No, I can't fudge it. It was just impossible. I got so mad. I don't know what happened, where it happened, but I got so mad and I wanted to restart it. The plan was the whole time to restart it and finish the thing because it's a good pattern. I like it, but I'm so mad at myself. I'm so mad at the pattern. I might just have to find a different Mars to stitch. So I'm giving up on it. There's no real moral to that story except that it's easy to feel like you spent so much money, so much time, effort, you know, dyeing your own fabric, but it is okay to stop and put that weight off your shoulders. There are so many other things to stitch. I refuse to have my hobby not be fun. So when I'm not having fun, I've just made the executive decision to just stop. And I hope that you will too. All right, what's next? Oh, I have haul this time. I would say this week, but these are every 2 weeks. So I have haul this time, mostly threads, because I am a thread person. I realized that rather than I'm not all that into fabrics, but I will go ham on threads. So let's just start. First, I got this from Leo and Roxy. It's called Back to the Fuchsia. And when you look on their website, this color just basically, you know, reached out and smacked me in the face. It is so bright. I don't know what I will use this on, but I'll use it on something. I thought that maybe like whatever person took the picture just like edited it, but no, it is this bright in person. It's great. I love it. So I didn't want to buy just one skein of thread from Canada. And I couldn't figure out what else I wanted. So I got one of their mystery packs, which is a bunch of threads, that they just put together in a 25-gram bag and sent you. These are mostly okay, although I'm not sure what you can do with that, but they're mostly good size skeins, full size. My favorites out of all of these are this red one. It's called Follow Red. And, ooh, this one. It's variegated. It's called Hussy. That one is really pretty. You might be seeing a theme in my favorite threads. Let's see what other one. Oh, this one, this bright orange is another one that just sort of smacks you in the face when you look at it. And I actually think it might pair well with Back to the Fuchsia. So I might use them in something maybe Halloween themed. But the rest of these are nice basics that you can add to any collection. So I'm happy I got these. So that is one thread order. The next thread order is from a couple of places, and it's a bunch of silk threads. I watched, wow, this camera, these are mostly kind of blue, some of these are blue-green. I need to figure out how to color correct. So I watched a video from Katie Strachan, and she talked about different silks and the differences in them. And I decided to get some to see for myself. So I got some of these are all Vera Soie. This is Soie d'Alger. Let's see. A couple of these are this is Soie 103. This is Vera Soie, another Soie 103. One more Saw 103. And then these two would be Saw Goblins. These two are blue-green. Like my camera is telling you that it's more blue than green, so they're blue-green. So I got them all in like a similar color family because I'm like that person who tries new restaurants but gets the same thing at every new restaurant. To see how I like it. So I'm going to maybe stitch a couple things with these and see how I like them. So there's that. And then finally I got a hank of, this is silk floss. This fall I want to do some dyeing experiments. So I got a big hank of silk in natural so that I can dye it myself and try. This is Silks for You, and I feel kind of bad about my carbon footprint because I bought one hank of silk and they sent me it all the way from Australia, but it is kind of hard to find natural colored silk, US based. And so this is what I got. Sorry, Earth. I'll do better. So yeah, that is all of my stitching and stitching related stuff for this video. Next is Journal Club. Today's Journal Club is about mosquitoes, the little critters that like to drink our blood. Me personally, I don't typically get a lot of mosquito bites, but when I do, they stay around for a while and they're just itch city for days and days. I hate it. As carriers for diseases such as malaria, yellow fever, and dengue, mosquitoes are an incredibly important area of research. In the current issue of the journal Cell, researchers looked at signaling pathways in mosquito olfaction, so how they smell. Mosquitoes are very good at sniffing out humans and finding people to snack on. Despite what's known about insects' sense of smell, disrupting that skill has been incredibly difficult. Generally, until now, scientists thought that in mosquitoes, an odorant would stimulate a receptor on the scent organ, which then in turn would stimulate a particular neuron, which then sends its signal to the brain. And so that one odor, one receptor, and one neuron pathway, when scientists would disrupt whatever part of that pathway, mosquitoes would still be able to find people very well. So it turns out that while that's true some of the time, neurons can also receive signals from multiple receptors and receptor types and receptor complexes, expanding the complexity and also the redundancy in what a mosquito can smell. So basically, they'll find us. Whatever we do, wherever we are, they will find us and eat our blood. So, I don't know if that is a terrifying concept. So, I'll leave a link to the study below because it's open access if you'd like to take a look. Finally, today's recommendation is a new video game called Cult of the Lamb. I've been obsessed with this game for the past week. Basically, you build up your cult by rescuing followers from a forest filled with monsters. And, I'll leave it at that. It is such a cute game. The music is top notch. I actually downloaded one of the songs just to listen to on my own without playing the game. Yeah, if you like farming sims like Stardew Valley, there's that. If you like, fighting monster games, there's that too. It's on all major platforms, so you can play it if you're interested on whatever you have. So with that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.